Hello all, Dr. Lindsay Mamula here to talk to you today about ear hematomas. What is an ear hematoma? So, if you've ever felt your dog or cat, I've had cats that come in, that has a big sac on the ear that's filled with fluid. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard and it's it can be squishy too, but if it's usually a fluid-filled sac on the ear, then that's what you're dealing with, an ear hematoma right there. So what does that mean? Usually, causative agent is trauma of some sort. So blood vessels break in there. So the ear is made up of skin, cartilage, skin. And what happens is fluid accumulates between that skin and that cartilage, and it can't go anywhere. So it creates this pocket. And it's usually because the blood vessels have ruptured in that ear, and we get blood accumulating is really what it is. And that's why it's called a hematoma, because it's blood filled. What causes that? Big floppy basset ear sound is head shaking, right? Those ears start going and they self-traumatize, but then what causes the ear shaking and the head shaking? Usually due to an ear infection of some sort. Sometimes it can be due to a bite wound. You know, the other dogs are playing or they get hit really hard and it bursts those blood vessels in there, and we need to then help with that process. So ear infections, number one cause. Dogs always like to head shake. Those are really itchy ears. They can't really get in there. They'll scratch them, they'll head shake, and then those ears flap and boom, broken blood vessels. Now, what do we do about that? So we would love to say, let's just stick a needle in it and drain it. Great, we do that. Unfortunately, 90%, and I'll tell you, 90% of the time they come back. They do not resolve on their own. That fluid just starts building back up and we get that fluid-filled sac again, and we're back right where we started from. Next option is surgery. So usually what we'll end up having to do is cut open that ear and we suture. I mean, honestly, we're retacking that skin to that cartilage so those blood vessels can't separate that and creating scar tissue between that. And we get it to the skin to lay flat against that cartilage by suturing multiple times. And it is a long process. I will admit that too. And it takes lots of suture packs and lots of time to get that done. But the success with that is much more than actually draining it. I've had people leave them too. Problem with that is those ears get really heavy with that sack of fluid in there. And then sometimes they'll start crumpling up like what you would call a cauliflower ear. And so then you get a malformed ear. I wouldn't say it's painful for the dog or anything like that, but it definitely can be not as aesthetically pleasing, if you want to say, but the dogs can do well and some do okay with it. So biggest thing to treat them, surgery, but we got to figure out the underlying cause. Those are those ear infections. Let's get those taken care of. We need to treat those ears and get that part taken care of. Then over time, we usually leave those sutures in for 3 weeks. And once those sutures come out, you have a nice healthy ear again. So that is the story behind ear hematomas. You also call them aural hematomas. It's A-U-R-A-L, not oral as in your mouth, but aural as in A-U-R-A-L hematomas. And that's kind of the science behind it. Thanks so much. I hope all is good. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.